Right, good morning. Okay, thank you first of all to Charles for the Luxembourg plate. That is fantastic. That's completely unique and I've never seen a license plate like that. It's a fantastic one for the collection. Thank you so much. It's a great token of your friendship. I really appreciate that, Charles. Thank you. And of course to Daniel for the veteran plate. United States Marine Corps, thank you for your service, sir. And of course, thank you for the plate and that gift and token of friendship. Really appreciate all the plates to all of you. I think you know that. They mean so much to us. We are running out of space, but it doesn't matter. We will make space if we have to. There we are. Let's get on with some work today. Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, day 23, Hayabusa build, and back into this with a vengeance. Now today I want to try and get this to a point where I can screw the 8 bolts in and get ready for the new exhaust. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I had a mobile welder guy come out and weld that up, and that was at the suggestion of the dealer. I made a comment about this being a liability issue a couple of videos ago, so I just want to stand up and say that's not quite the case. It was an ill-considered comment, so I apologise for that. It was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I was deeply disappointed to find that crack. I really was. All I wanted to do was take the 8 bolts out, put in the new 8 bolts that I've made or shortened down myself on the lathe, and move on. But unfortunately it's ended up nearly a week and a half, 2 weeks to just get past that stage. And that's how it goes with builds sometimes. So sense of humour failure, I'm afraid. It wasn't the case. The dealer was absolutely fantastic. I went to him on the phone, not for any claim or anything, it's not a new bike. I just went to him and said, can you chuck us a bone? What am I going to do about this? I'm absolutely stuck. I'm really lost. I just couldn't think of the right thing to do. Even some of you said, oh my God, it's a new head, it's a new engine, it's engine out. He said, no. He said, don't panic. He said, all it is, he said, run the bike over to me. He said, leave it with us a couple of days. He said, and I've got a mobile welder guy, he'll come out and just weld it for us. And I said, okay, does he come out to anyone? He said, well, yeah, of course. I said, well, give us his number. So basically, I got the mobile welder guy to come here and I just paid him, and that's it. So it was just a suggestion from the guy I got the bike from that got me through it. It's just that he kind of opened the gate and I managed to carry on my own. So thanks to him for the great suggestion, and thanks to Chris, the guy, the welder who came and did this. Thanks ever so much, mate. You made a fantastic job, and I hope you're watching and enjoying the fruits of where it goes from here. Now, he's left it with a lot of metal build on it. I asked him to do that. I'm going to die grind that back and make it tidy. There's a little bit on the inside I've got to grind back so the new exhaust can go in place, and then I've got 2 bolt stumps to take out still. There were 4 if you remember back a day. One of them came out with your fingers, that was good, that's what I hoped they'd all do, but they didn't. Another one, we welded nuts onto the others, and one of them was great, just turned out with a socket, job done, but the other 2 didn't, they just snapped off. So there they are, they're all welded in nicely, and they just sheared off because the stumps themselves are just not up to it. They can't take, the stumps are snapping before the thread lets go. You know, one's greater than the other, it's just physics. So I've got to get something done with those. Now, one of them's still got about 6 mil of stump left, so I've got to flush them off. I've got to cut them off flush and centre punch and drill them. But because I've got 6 mil of stump there, I'm going to weld another nut over that. There's 6 mil of it there, so there's enough space to weld another nut on top, get some penetrating oil down the back of the nut, and hopefully I might get that one out without having to drill it. So that's the task for today, is to clean up the aluminium weld, make it look nice and ready to go, and obviously try and get these last 2 stumps out as well. So that's the bit of a task. So I'm going to enjoy that, hope you do. Thanks for all your great support so far. Fingers crossed, let's see how today goes. Right, nice sound solid repair, and it even looks halfway decent. Okay, now I've got 2 stumps left to deal with. One's about 6 mil sticking out and one about 2 mil. But with the 6 mil one, I'm going to see if I can weld a nut on that one more time and see if I can actually extract it by twisting it out. If it shears off flush, it doesn't matter because I've got to get it flush before I can centre punch and drill it anyway. So while there's a tiny bit of stump left to weld to, let's give it one more last go. Right, okay, that's 3 attempts a piece now to get welded heads, to get them to move, and they're so seized in there that they're not moving. But I'm hoping that, if you remember a couple of videos ago, these bolts were quite hard, so I'm hoping that the welding heating process and then cooling naturally will have annealed them a little bit, made them a bit softer. So the next job, flush them off, centre punch them, hopefully in the middle. Right, measure that. Awesome. Right. It's about as central as I can get it. Let's show you. Beautiful. That's gone right down the centre of the bolt with a 6mm, and it's left almost a perfectly equidistant piece of steel all the way around. I haven't gone off into the aluminium of the head at all, which is rare. I'm so chuffed with that. Now that 6mm has to go out to 7mm to cut an M8 thread or thereabouts. I know it's not exactly that. I'm going to do the other one first while I sit back and just celebrate my mini triumph on that one for now. Let's see if the other one goes as well. Right, there we are, 6.64, 5 roughly. So that's the size of the holes, 6.65mm, and they need to be 6.75 to be actually correct for an M8 by 1.25mm thread. Now obviously it's better if they're a tiny bit undersized. It's an aluminium thread, so it should accept a little bit more. Going in there with a tapered thread, bit of cutting oil, or sorry, a tapered tap, a little bit of cutting oil, nice and gently back and forth. I should be able to cut 2 M8 125 threads in there now, ready to put the bolts in. And I'm absolutely stoked that I've managed to go straight down the centre of those bolts without any deviation into the casting whatsoever. That's quite rare, it really is. I've done it 101 times and I've never got it that good. So I think I deserve that little triumph after all the grief for this. Right, okay, let's cut some threads. I'm just chasing all the other threads down with the tap as well. A little bit of cutting oil, and it is cleaning out loads of corrosion. There's loads of scuzzy stuff coming out with the tap each time, so definitely worth doing. Right, there we go. Now that's that little drama taken care of. I'm really happy with the outcome so far. That's welded up and beefed up, and I've made a great contact in Chris for the future if I need him for anything else like that, which means I won't get so stressed in the future about that sort of thing, because I know a man who can. Right, the rest of it was the bolts. Obviously 4 of them broke off. I managed to get one of them out in the old-fashioned way, just with some grips. Another one we welded a nut on, that came out. The other 2, they weren't going to have it at all, but we got them in the end. Drilled it right through, retapped them, and now I have 8 healthy threads all ready to go with stainless steel bolts in them, ready to bolt the new exhaust in. And that brings me to that. The new exhaust, I'm going to have to source something new. Sadly, I did want to use the old dirty black rusty one for the patina. However, it's just not going to happen because the collector underneath has got a bracket that sort of spot welds to it and then up to the frame. As soon as I went to unbolt it, it just tore off and fell to bits. So the rust under the bottom of that exhaust is so bad I can't use it again. So I'm trying to source a set of headers for this, and at the same time I've got some ring gaskets on the way, and that'll all be for rebuild. But before I can do that, I've got to do these 2 oil pipes. These are the oil pipes for the standard oil cooler, and they've got this flat sort of flange fitting, but my oil cooler has got hose fittings, so I've got to adapt them. Not by using these are both coming off. I've got this adapter which will go in their place, so that bolts into the engine. That's what the engine stands as standard, and that the hose end will bolt in nicely to the Goodrich hose like that. There we are. So that'll give it the ability to be bolted in, and I can use some Goodrich hoses. These are great as well because you can cut these to length. You just bring the red nut back, cut them to length, go forward and you squeeze it again. It's just a compression fit, so I can make those exactly the length I need them to be. Got 2 of them, and then I can use my fantastic Mocal oil cooler. So those little unions were ready to bolt on when I can get them off, and that's the final challenge for the next video before I can start rebuilding any of this. That's all done, that's taken care of, tick. I've just got 4 more of those little tiny M6 screws to do down here, the same as this bracket. Now they came out okay with a little bit of care. Those ones underneath, I think they will too, hopefully. Going to get a little bit of heat on those. I've ordered some gas. Once that comes, I've got an impact driver as well. So to all of you who said use an impact driver and get some heat into it, I'm going to do that, and let's see if it actually works. I've always got these Allen keys in sockets, so I can do all that with it. It works, and I'll hopefully get those 2 off first time without any more thread drama, and then I can put those adapters on, put the hoses on, put everything back together on the front, and hopefully by that time the exhaust will be here as well. It will be a shiny exhaust because I want stainless. I don't want any of this again. Once the stainless exhaust is there, I will probably find a way to age or patina that. There's all sorts of ways with oil burning, even on stainless, to make it go dark rather than the shiny silver, because that really messes it. Anyway, there we go. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of your awesome support over the last couple of weeks. This has been a dark period of the build, and I'm jolly glad to be out this side of it. So there we are. We're out the woods so far. A little bit more to go and we're done. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.